So you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my Shrapnel build. Now, by all means, it's not min-maxed. As you know, min-maxing in this game is extremely hard. But I'm going to go over my build and show you what it does and how I could obviously better it so you guys, when you go to make this Shrapnel build, can make it better. It's based on the Soccer, the assault rifle that you see in my hand right now. And then obviously I've got the helmet for the Shrapnel, the caged helmet. I'll show you obviously what to get if you can't get them items. And yeah, let's jump into it. So as we can see here, if I go ahead and press K, I can look at my build. To start off with, obviously I've got the Soccer, the Last Valor assault rifle. And it's got a 4% chance to trigger shrapnel, and with a hit, the crit hits counts as 2 hits. Crit hits grant shrapnel trigger chance plus 1% for 1 second, and the shrapnel crit damage is plus 30%. I've then actually got the recurve crossbow. Now, a lot of you are probably going to be thinking, why on earth have you got the crossbow when you've got a legendary sniper? Well, the reason I've got this is because it's got a hit, on a hit, a weak spot will inflict the bullseye on target, and all weapons will get crit rate plus 30% on targets with the bullseye status or 10%. For 10 seconds, sorry. Effects only work once on the same target within 15 seconds. So you want to, whether you're going to kill a boss or a human or whatever you could do, if you've got a chance to, make sure you fire the crossbow at them first. And then pull out your Soccer and then shoot them, and it will do so much more damage. I'll give you an example of that in just a moment. And then for the armor, I've got the caged helmet. Now, if you can't get the caged helmet, then I would recommend getting the beret, as you can get that quite easy in this game. And if not, you've probably already got it. But let me go over to the armor station just to show you the beret, which is this one right here, which gets shrapnel hit parts plus 1. However, this one's got shrapnel trigger count plus 1. How do we get the caged helmet and the Soccer assault rifle? Well, all you want to do is you want to go upstairs. Obviously, I've done a video on Starcrom. Go and get Starcrom and then click Make a Wish. And there was a caged helmet and a Soccer one. You want to go ahead and do that in the wish machine, gambling machine, not actually buy it. The reason I say don't buy it, because to buy it costs you 8,000, I believe. It's here on the weapon one, costs you 8,000. However, if you're to do the wish machine up to 20, which is the max you can do it to, which you can see here, it's 20. 500 by 20 is obviously 10,000. So yes, it's 2,000 Starcrom more, but you get so many blueprints in the process that you can actually upgrade it. So you can see I've got it at tier 2. Up to tier obviously 6 that this weapon goes up to. So yeah, the more that you do the Make-A-Wish, the more blueprints you're going to get, the more you're going to be able to upgrade your weapon, which is really flipping cool. Then afterwards, as you can see, I've got the cage helmet there, so I've just showed that. It's got the shrapnel trigger count plus 1. Then I'm using this set, which is the Lone Wolf set. Now, there is no other way of obtaining this right now apart from each piece is 3,000 Starcrom here in the store. I've brought the shirt, the trousers, and the mask. Magazine capacity rate is extra 10% with 1 piece. Crit rate is extra 5% with 2 piece. And get 1 stacks of Lone Shadow with every 2 weapon crit hits. Lone Shadow crit damage plus 6% for 30 seconds. The effect can stack up to 8. And then obviously if you had 4 pieces, it can stack up to 10. But I'm not doing that in this build, only because I want the helmet. If I didn't want the helmet, then I'd obviously go ahead and get 4 pieces, or I'd switch it around a little bit. So then moving on to the other items that we've got, obviously you can see the head. We've got now the gloves and the boots that are the Renegade gloves. We got these anyway when we were going ahead and getting the caged helmet, this one set that drops, or at least it drops 3 pieces for you. So I thought I might as well equip these. We see reload speed and weak spot damage is 10%. Now, if you don't have them and you haven't gone and done the Make-A-Wish, then I would go over to the crafting station, and what I would actually craft instead of these would be the Falcon set, because we can see 2 pieces of this gives you an extra 12% critical hit damage. And now with that, I want to show you the attachments that I've got in it. As you can see, I've actually rolled off the calibration to get more crit rate on this weapon. So I've got fire rate plus 15%, reload speed plus 40%, but the attack has gone down by minus 10%. Is this the best recalibration for the assault rifle? Not really. The minus 10% is probably not a great way to go about with the attack. So I would actually go for the one that does this. Where are we? I've got my mods in here. Probably one of these that you can see here, the heavy assault rifle, the calibration blueprint, which gives you magazine capacity plus 60, but reload speed minus 30%. But I need one that's got double crit really, or 1 major crit and then crit damage. Ideally, you'd want that, but with 2 crits. However, I've got this one on. It still works really, really good, but you can min-max it a little bit better. And for the crossbow, I haven't recalibrated it. I haven't done anything to it because all I want it for is to activate the bullseye. Now, the mod that I'm using on this weapon is this one, the Shrapnel Smash Violent. It's not perfected. If I wanted to perfect this, then I'd want more critical hit damage, as well as the weapon damage. So I'd want to aim for them 2 things. I'm not really too bothered about any of the other things, just crit damage, weapon damage, and if I can get any shrapnel damage, then I would do that. So the Shrapnel Smash has got the triggering shrapnel, grants shrapnel crit rate plus 1% for 2 seconds, and effects can stack up to 20 times. Now, if you want to know why I've chose that one, well, if you go over to the weapon that you're using, no matter what weapon it is, or any item that you're using, press J, and when you press J, it will bring up this little tab on your screen. Bringing up this little tab on your screen, it will show you what is recommended for this weapon. So we see it's a rifle in the metahuman style, and then it's got shrapnel here. Increase your crit rate to trigger the soccer and the valor shrapnel more frequently, boosting your overall damage, weapon damage, PvP, and the resetter counter, and it's basically what it's for. How to obtain is you draw it from the wish machine, but we can see here we either want to use the beret or the caged helmet, which I've already got the caged helmet on, but I also said the beret was a really good secondary. We want the shrapnel smash on the weapon, and for the armor we want the explosive shrapnel. So as we can see here, we got the shrapnel smash there, and then on the mask we have got the explosive shrapnel. Yet again, not the greatest of roles for the explosive shrapnel. I'd want explosive shrapnel, but I'd want to have crit damage, weapon damage. Obviously, I'm not too bothered about having magazine capacity. It's pretty good to have, but that is the exact one I want because it's got the 20th shrapnel, is explosive and deals 300% damage with guaranteed critical hit, which is huge. And if you want to use a different weapon one, as we can see down here for the shrapnel, I've currently got the shrapnel smash on, but this one is really good as well, especially for bosses. The shrapnel souvenir, it's got crit damage on it, everything, but it's got when shrapnel hits a weak spot, automatically refills 1 bullet from your inventory, meaning you can fire for a lot longer periods, which is pretty darn cool. Then obviously on the helmet, as we can see here, I'm using this mod with the momentum up. Now I don't have all different kinds of mods, but with the ones I've had available, this is probably the best. I obviously have deleted some, but it's got fire rate 10% for the first 50% of the magazine, and weapon damage 30% for the next 50% of the magazine. It's got crit damage, damage against great ones, and then it's obviously got the other stuff. Yet again, I want to go for crit damage, crit chance, or weapon damage. You can't get crit chance as an attribute effect, so crit damage, weapon damage is going to be the ones to go to, and then obviously weapon damage reduction. So if you're going into PvP, you get that bonus as well against. Then I have obviously leveled it up to try and get the better stats for it. Moving over to the mask, what have I got in it? I've got obviously the explosive shrapnel that we've seen, and then moving on to the gloves, I've got the crit boost. This is definitely the best in slot for the gloves. It's got reload speed bonus and magazine capacity. Yes, yet again, I would want weapon damage and crit damage, but I'm still quite happy with the reload speed bonus and the magazine capacity. It's nothing I can really complain against. I think it's pretty cool. We always want to try and not get like the damage against elite enemies or anything on it, so if we can get just a neat one, and then even better. Moving on to the shoes. The shoes that I've got on, this is the hard one. I haven't really found a really good shoes mod. If you can let me know in the comments down below what good shoe mod you've either found, it would be like much appreciated. But my shoes mods, I've got nothing that I can really use that I think's amazing. I don't mind the ferocious charge, but if ever you have to kill an enemy for it to activate. So here we've got the covered advanced precision. It's got weak spot damage, magazine capacity, reload speed bonus, and damage against normal enemies. Not the greatest, but take no damage within 4 seconds. Grants plus 20% melee damage, weapon damage, and status damage. So it's good to start a fight with, which I think is pretty cool. For the chest, I've got the head guard violent. Now there's 2 variants that I'd use here. I'd either use the critical rescue or the head guard. The head guard, obviously, when HP is above 70%, the head area is no longer a weak spot. So it's great for PvP because people can't do any damage to your head or weak spot damage to your head. It's just normal damage. And I've got crit hit damage on that and weapon damage. That's a perfect example of basically what I want on my thing, apart from the damage against normal enemies. I don't know if damage against normal enemies works in PvP against actual people, or normal enemies are just classed as human enemies in the game. If it does work against people, then this is a great role. but obviously to my understanding it does not, so that's not that great. And then I've got the critical rescue, which I think is also a good one, which is damage reduction 20% and healing received plus 20% when HP is below 30%. So when you go down below 30%, you get 20% of your health. You go back up to 50% and you get a damage reduction of 20% to keep you back alive. And I don't know how often it can proc, but I think this is a really cool mod to have on yourself. So I'd either go for head guard or critical rescue if you're on the edge of what to get. And then for the legs, I've got dead shot precision, which has got each crit hit by non-melee weapons grants 5% critical damage, up to 45% the effect is removed upon the next reload, but you can get up to 45% crit damage, which is really good. The rolls I've got in it: weak spot damage, damage against normal enemies, great ones. Status damage reduction is really poor, but overall this mod is going to be the best. So guys, this is my shrapnel thing. Let me go and fire it against the thing just so you can see the damage it does. So I'm going to go ahead and just shoot it without using the crossbow to show you the difference of why this crossbow is so important. Let me go and shoot it. That's one clip. I'll do two. So we just saw it just go shy of 27,000 then with the one clip. 2 clips shy of 22,000. Now if we pull out the crossbow and we shoot a weak spot, bam, and then we pull out this and shoot it, there we go, up to 37,000, and then the second mag over 30,000 damage. So this is why you want the crossbow. How do you get the crossbow, you might be wondering? Well, it's very easy to get. All you want to do is you want to head over to Evergreen right here, and when you're at Evergreen, the mystical crate is located right in this tower at the top of the main building, and you'll get the blueprint, and all you need to do is go and craft it. It is very easy to craft. If you go look here and you look at weapon crafting, we go to crossbows, we can see all it requires is these materials, so it's extremely easy to craft. Go ahead and get it. Obviously if you've got it at level 1, you can craft it there. So go to Evergreen, get the crossbow, and then put together this shrapnel build. Like I said, the only things I'd change on this build would be better rolls. This is actually really good roll. I don't know about the normal enemies. Obviously, let me know in the comments down below. This is probably the best helmet. This is definitely the best mask mod, but yet again, bad rolls. Definitely the best glove mod, not the greatest of rolls. Shoe mod, I'm not too sure of. Chest mod, yet again, I'm not too sure of. Maybe there's more. And legs, definitely the best mod. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. That's my shrapnel build. It does insane damage. With this build, for instance, I can solo a boss by myself. Here I'll play a clip of me killing the Ravenous Hunter, trying to get more shrapnel mods for you guys to see. So here's where the Ravenous Hunter is as well, so you can see it on the map right here at this monolith. So if you're going for a shrapnel build, this is the one you want to farm over and over again to get the better shrapnel mods till you get the right one, which you can just keep doing, and you can do it solo as well. You don't need a team to do it, which is pretty darn cool. Just get here, quickly jump over, drop down, pull out your whatever you want to call it, V, and then come down here, run into here, and literally go and interact with the rift, and then teleport in. You want to put it on hard mode as well, because obviously, like I said, you can solo this hard mode without any difficulties really. So let me just go ahead and interact by pressing F now. Click it on hard, enter, Y to ready, come straight into this. I'm going to mute up and I'm going to show you me killing this solo on hard. And there you go. That was super duper easy, super duper quick. You've got a chance of getting a deviant from here as well, which I'll show you. The deviant you can get, it's this one, the Lone Wolf's Whisperer. I've only had up to a level 3 so far, which is this one's the best one that I've got. But you can get the Lone Wolf's Whisperer from here, and if I obviously go ahead and open it, we can see that I go ahead and get mods in here. I'll get bounce mods as well, which is good for my sniper. Oh, and I actually got a deviant from this one as well. Normally it drops for you to go and gather, but this one actually dropped in the chest, which is not normally the way it's done, but I mean, I'm not going to complain. I'm pretty happy with that. It was a level 3 as well, which is pretty cool. And if I go and look at my gear, and just quickly go into here, I got a pistol as well, which I can obviously turn into a calibrating weapon. So you're going to get a weapon every time. It could be even blue though, so it's not the greatest. And then if I go into my mods, I'll go to my bounce mods just so I can see what was there. I got the bounce deals more damage, which is probably the best role for bounce as well. So if you are using a sniper, and then this is a great one for you to have, but it's got elite and great ones. You only want to have one because you're losing out on slot there, unless obviously you're doing insane PvE dungeons. And then go into the shrapnel one. I got this one, which is the shield breaker. It's not my favorite. It's got weapon damage, weak spot damage, damage reduction, and normal enemies. So yeah, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like, follow, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.